and the director of the Houston Comedy Film Festival. Also, the new event coming up, the Georgia Comedy Film Festival, which will be in Atlanta at the Plaza Theater. We are joined today by Sam Cadman, who is the director of Locura, The Madness, which has been nominated for an award in both of these festivals coming up in fall 2022. Houston will be November the 12th, and the Georgia Comedy Film Festival will be in early December. So just check out the link in the description if you want to check out those events. Sam, thank you for joining us.
Of course, thank you. It's obviously exciting.
Got to congratulate you on your award nominations. You're over in the UK and you're just raking it in over here in the US. You nominated for the Best Dark Comedy Film at Houston Comedy Film Festival and Best Director at the Georgia Comedy Film Festival. So congrats.
Yeah, that's great. And, you know, it was a tough thing to make because we shot it in the middle of COVID lockdown. So as a director, there was as much production as direction this time.
I hear that. So talk to me. What's the synopsis of this film, or should I say pilot?
So it's basically a pilot. It's based on the real life experiences of our lead actor, Rod Lutzy, who called me just before lockdown to say that his father had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And he was looking at having to move back in with his family, like literally into the childhood bedroom that he had to help take care of them. And I'd worked with him a few times in the past, and I'd said, you know, if ever you got any ideas, give me a call. And that idea just stuck in my mind, the idea of a comedy set in a tragedy. And so with Rod and his writing friend, George, we started kind of working out what this story could be. And it ultimately became a Brooklyn hipster who has to move to, you know, Palm Beach, Florida, to look after his family whilst he tries to sort out his own life and love.
Well, let's get into that because it deals with a lot of issues, even though it is wrapped in comedy. You know, you're talking about mental health. You're talking about huge transitions during COVID. You're unpacking a lot of things here. Can you talk about the creative motivation to create this pilot?
It's definitely a dark comedy, and you know, as we researched it, we found for a lot of people who are caught up, a lot of particularly carers who are looking after people with Alzheimer's, they need comedy to kind of survive because it is so tough and it's so brutal what particularly Alzheimer's, but you know, dementia in general. It's so tough what that does to people, and obviously the people around them and the people caring for them. And there's a kind of, it's almost like a coping strategy is to just somehow find things to laugh about and you know, get some kind of release. And we really felt that was a rich scene to tap into.
Got it. So talk to me about producing this. You obviously dealt with some challenges during COVID, but can you just talk about maybe anything you kind of learned from this whole experience?
Yeah, so I mean, we cheated Long Island as West Palm Beach. Like I say, it was right in the middle of COVID. I mean, it was very strange being in New York with it so quiet and empty. And of course, we had quite a few elderly people on our cast. That was actually our biggest expense. I mean, we raised the money on Kickstarter, and everyone was doing it for free except for the COVID compliance guy. We wanted to make sure that everyone was safe. You know, we were being as proactive as we could. And like I say, that became our biggest overhead. Just trying to make sure that, you know, nobody got sick, understandably.
What's the future of this series? Have you written more? Do you have another
one?
So
the way we wrote it, it's actually as the pilot, it's 9 scenes, and each scene is a scene from its respective episode of what would become a complete series. So in an ideal world, we will make a 10-part series, 10.5 hours, that follow the same arc of that pilot. So we kind of is trying to do double duty, I suppose. It needs to work as a pilot in its own right, as a kind of selling tool, let's say. But also, we wanted it to show the potential of the series and subsequent series as Rod moves to Florida and has to deal with his family and how he tries to carry on his life there. So that's the hope, would be to get that first season scripts written and go from there.
All right. And what about the future of you personally? Are you working on anything else beyond La Locura?
Yeah, I'm doing, so I'm really a commercials director. I spent 20 years directing TV commercials, mainly in the US, but also in the UK. And over the last few years, I've been developing scripted projects like this with actors, almost always with actors that I've worked with, who I really like, and who have some kind of personal story. And I really like that. I really like the kind of autobiographical, very driven by somebody's own experience. And I've got a couple of things like that that I'm working on, which you'll be the first to hear about. That's for sure.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I appreciate you checking in. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to reach out?
My Instagram, Mr. Codlar. That's probably the best. I post up. In fact, I'm literally about to post about Houston later this afternoon. So thank you for that. And obviously Georgia, I'll do that next.
Awesome. Well, I want to go ahead and mention that anyone who wants to attend the Houston Comedy Film Festival, there's a promo code that's been provided in the description of this video. Locura, you put that in and you can come join the festival for free. No credit card required. We just want to get some eyeballs on Sam's film, and thank you for collaborating with me on that, Sam, and helping us to promote the festival.
Absolutely. And thank you. And thank you to the judges. I really appreciate how hard everyone works. It's really exciting to actually, for people to see things that you've made. I know for the cast and crew, they always get excited when I'm telling them what's going on. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today. Have a good one, my friend.
Bye.